we're not going to let Brian play on CD because we are fortunate to have him in the studio with us. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Excellent.
This is your newest CD.
Yep.
Released this year, huh?
Yeah, just released it a couple months ago.
Are you happy with it?
I am happy with it, yeah.
Why?
Well, it was the first time. This is my 7th record, and all the records I've ever done before have been kind of doing what I do with looping and building it by myself. But with this record was a little bit different. Went with a band and recorded with a full band. So that was the first time for me, and it was a really cool process and seeing how it come together. Yeah.
Originally from the Midwest, is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, a little suburb up there called Loveland, Ohio, and I turned 18 and started getting on the road, and it's a beautiful Midwest. It's a beautiful place to be from and go back to and visit.
Right. Yeah. Right. But you toured all over the world.
Yeah, we've been for the last 10 years. We've toured and traveled and volunteered in 35 countries and 49 states and done a lot of traveling. Yeah.
How about that?
It's really cool.
And your website says that when you were born, your grandma said the world traveler in the family has just been born.
She did say that.
She knew, huh?
Yeah, my grandmother was living in the Nape, Delaware tribe and really connected, and she was just being able to say that. She knew.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's an important part of what you do. Is that the fount of your inspiration?
Through traveling?
Yeah.
Traveling's been a life-changing experience for both myself and my wife Katie. It's a continuing of education, and we're continuing to learn as we travel, and our horizons are expanding, and learning who the people are in this world, and traveling from places in Asia and Africa, and living in villages, and really trying to get and like I said, we traveled a lot, and still just the more that I travel, the more I'm like, wow, this is such a crazy, big, diverse world that as much as I have seen, I still know just so little,
Has that given you a new perspective on your home life?
It does give me that is a constant and evolving process, that is, when you go and you spend time in Africa and Asia and some of these countries, it is, you're constantly reminded about, I am constantly reminded about where I grew up, where I was born. I mean, I was being born in the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, I am privileged. I wasn't, my parents weren't rich. I was middle class, but I'm extremely privileged, and to come where I am, and the opportunities that I have. I mean, these opportunities to play music and to travel around the world, that is an opportunity that I have that is, that I wouldn't necessarily have if I would have been born somewhere else in this world,
One of the things that's always struck me about African music is in the midst of the most dire circumstances, there's music. And not only that, but it's probably joyful music. And that's always blown me away.
Yeah, there's something to be said about tribal music and indigenous music. That's something that no matter what color, skin you are, where you grew up, we all come from indigenous roots. Every single one of us as human beings do.
Yeah.
So there is some kind of indigenous, some kind of tribal music that each and every single one of us will, spirits get,
Yeah, we're indigenous earthlings.
Yeah, we are. That is true.
And in some corner of the Milky Way galaxy, everybody already knows. They hear music and they go, "Oh, that's from Earth."
Yeah.
That's gotta be from planet Earth.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Hey, you have your guitar with you. I'd love to hear it too.
All right. We'll do. I'm gonna do the title track of my new record. It's called "Be Set Free." When I hear his name like I hear the call, hear the voice inside us all, comforts all, regardless of their faith. When I walk that road a million miles, seen troubled faces like battle scars, pierce your soul like a dagger through your heart. The city don't do nothing yet, nothing at all. I don't do nothing to about the fall, but you can't do nothing if you don't start loving the dead. When there's something that we can do, something that we should do, something that'll move to, something to hold on to, something that'll give us just a little bit of hope today. So you gotta go, be set free. of all your burden and all of your iniquity. So you gotta go, be set free of all the things this world told you that you should be. So you gotta go, be set free, my child. Give all your worry to grip and mystery, when a mystery. See the human in you, when the human in me, we all come together for family. What affects you also affects me. When sometimes, life ain't fair, we take a conversation to clear the air and focus not on politics in place, yeah. So we all got a chance to make a choice, and we come together for a silent voice who disappear because of censorship. Say the time is now to make history, take back the power from the power that be the change that we all wish to see. So you gotta go, be set free of all your burden and all of your iniquity. So you gotta go, be set free of all the things this world told you that you should be. So you gotta go, be set free, my child, and give all your worry to grape and mystery. Mystery. Gotta go, gotta go.
Thank you very much. Let's close that door.
All right. Oops, sorry about that one.
Wow, I really like the hip hop cadence on some of the lyrics.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Some of my friends call it hippie hop. I always like to make fun of it.
And then the Asylum Street Spankers, I think they call it hick hop.
Hick hop, yeah. Even I don't go too far up from that fight. That could be something too.
So, are you proud to be called a hippie?
I really the whole label thing. What I mean, there's it's just been so misconstrued over the thing. It's the hippies, the hippie movement as it was originated. And then that's an unbelievable. That movement, was a remarkable movement. And obviously, it's kind of I think if you ask kids now, hey, what's a hippie? They're not going to exactly know the historical significance of that, what it meant, and but just like anything, whether it's any kind of label, hippie or whatever you want to call it, there's certain things that that you agree with, certain things you don't agree with. No one person is one thing,
Hey, I want you to tell me about Kaswanga Village in Kenya.
Yeah, Kaswanga Village is a village that Katie and I first went to. It's in southwestern Kenya, in Lake Victoria. Back in 2009, my wife and I went on this trip where we basically sold almost everything we had except for my music equipment, and we did a backpacking trip around the world. And we didn't really play shows. We just wanted to volunteer and travel and get and see the world. So we started through New Zealand and Australia, through Southeast Asia, and then we ended up in Africa. And the significance of Africa was one of the first conversations my wife and I had was about Africa. It was about this place that always called us, that we had dreams about, that we felt like, maybe we're supposed to be there one day. Maybe we should go there. I don't know, And so in 2009 and 2010 it happened, and we went out there and we did this thing called woofing. It's called Willing Workers on Organic Farms, which is a worldwide network of places where you go and volunteer, do a little bit of work in exchange for food and shelter. So basically you go and you live with a family, do a little bit of work, and instead of staying at a hotel or a hostel or backpackers, you get a real authentic experience. We wanted to go to Africa. We didn't want to go and live in the resorts. We didn't want to do the whole, we didn't want to go that route for our first time. We wanted to live in a village and see what it was like. And we did a lot of discerning, a lot of praying, a lot of trying to figure out where in Africa, and it just narrowed it down. Katie and I just ended up narrowing it down, and we ended up in Kaswanga Village. And so Kaswanga Village is a small village of no running water, no electricity. It's mud houses, and it's on this island called Rusinga Island, and it's in Lake Victoria. It's really, I mean, it's African bush, you know. But it's and that's where we went. We went there and we lived there for a few months. You know, we came home and we've spent, I think, maybe 4 or 5 months maybe in Kaswanga Village. I think in the last 7 years. But you know, that village is it's an amazing place. That village has really taught both of us a lot. You know.
Well, it also inspired you to start a nonprofit called Journey for Youth. Tell us about the work that Journey for Youth does.
Essentially what Journey for Youth does, what it's doing now is we basically keep kids in school first and foremost. So we have about 100 kids that we keep in school through his school fees, school uniforms, and shoes. So basically at our shows, it's for $30, and you basically get school fees for a whole year for a child, school uniform, and shoes. And these are all kids that we know. A lot of them we spend a lot of time with, you know, and we did that because, you know, we were in that village and we were seeing kids. It's like, wow, it's only $30 for a whole year of school. Like 1 year of school out there changes. I mean, you know, 1 year of school or any school education is just that. It's like for us, one of the things that we do primarily is education. Amongst other things, we do a little bit of widow and orphan care. We do a little bit of you know, investing in small businesses for women and to start small businesses and pay it forward. So and we've done a lot of things. We've been there for 7 years, so we've done a lot of things. You know, some things, yeah, you know, it's a lot.
So long enough to really sink roots in this village.
You know, I guess you could say, you know, we do have some roots in that village, and you know, there's some people there who are extremely close with us and who have taught us a lot.
What has your experience there done with and for your music?
It's really, and I think first and foremost what it's done is I don't know if you'd say it's empowered my music, but it's given purpose to my music. You know, prior to going to that village, you know, like when I was just first starting out getting into music 9-10 years ago, you know, like I did want to be, you know, you're tempted to have that, you know, I want to get, not famous, but I want to, you know, reach a lot of people, and, you know, and I was kind of, back then I was, you know, I was partying a lot, and I mean, you know, partying a little bit or whatever, but it's just, you know, it's easy to get lost, and then you get something that will humble you, and inspire you, and in like this village, basically what it did is it basically gave me an opportunity, because we saw, while we were there, we saw obviously great need, but we also saw some amazing things where people who are, yeah, they might be poor, but they're very rich too. They're very rich in things like community and culture and family and elders and faith, you know, like very rich, you know, while, you know, we're not necessarily rich in those things. We're rich in money and opportunity and things like that. But, you know, when I see this whole transaction, it changes my mind, gives me purpose to my music, and I'm able to be like, you know what, Katie and I are like, we're going to use our music, we're going to use our stage, we're going to use our songs, we're going to use our stage, our tours, for something bigger than ourselves. Not the partying, not all the me, although I struggle with that too, because I'm an artist and I'm a diva, you know what I mean, too. I can be like that, you know. But really, this is something that is actually a practice. It's practice, a part of my music, part of my business, and part of my belief and my philosophy that, you know, I've been given a lot. I've been given a lot of opportunity. I've been given a blessing, an opportunity to be able to play this music and travel around the world and play music and meet you and all these other people. What am I going to use it for? Am I going to use it for me? I've done it. I've used it for myself. And honestly, like, it didn't make me feel any better, you know. And now it's like, instead, I can use it for something bigger than myself and something I'm passionate about.
I can see the passion.
I know, man. I get fired up.
It's obvious. Well, I'd like to hear another tune before we have to get out of here.
All right.
If you just joined us, we have Brian Ernst live in the studio. Brian has played at the Carbondale Market today, and he's playing at the KDNK Thank You Party tonight over at the Pan and Fork starting at 6 o'clock.
The song is called Change. Gonna change the world today in the way I can. Change the world today. I'm gonna change who I am, and I'm gonna change the way I think. Make a small critique. Change the way I think. I'm gonna write down pen and ink, and I'm gonna change the way I see. Start living free. Change the way I see. Gonna have to start with me. I said I knew, but I don't know everything there is to know. But I know you plant that seed, you can live to see it grow. Gonna live life in love, child, I'm not the only one. Gotta be the change that you want to see in this world, darling, change the world. Change the way I look. I'm not caring what people say. Change the way I look, 'cause I'm beautiful today. I'm gonna change the way I give. I'm seeing how other people live. Change the way I give. I started learning to forgive, and I'm gonna change the way I judge. Never hold a grudge. Change the way I judge. Always looking up above, and I'm gonna change the way I love. Talking about unconditional agape love. Change the way I love. Some mama be proud of. And still I know, I don't know everything there is to know. But I know that you plant that seed, my friend, you can live to see it grow. I'm gonna live a life in love, child. I'm not the only one. You gotta be the change you wanna see in this world. Darling, change the world.
Brian Ernst playing live in the studio. And as I said, playing tonight over at the Pan and Fork and River Valley Ranch starting at 6 o'clock as part of the celebration of the recent completion of KDNK's membership drive.
Awesome.
Hey, that sounds really good, guys. Thanks a lot. I need to catch up with a little bit of business here, and then we'll go out with another song from your CD. How about that? Which one
Sounds
should
great.
we play?
How about, why don't we do The Refugee?
Number 3.
Number 3, please.
All right. Your tuned to KDNK. Support comes from the Pullman in Glenwood Springs, a new breed of American eatery pairing simple food and wine with conscious hospitality and surroundings. Lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Reservations at 970-234-9234. Menu and hours at thepullmangws.com. And from Louis, the computer guy, providing PC and Mac repair, networking support, tutoring, and web design. Secure, informed, and connected. 948-7992. And finally, additional support for KDNK coming from the Purple Haze Retirement Home. We put the rock in your rocking chair. You know where to find us. Stay tuned for Living Permaculture coming up in 6 short minutes. And let's go out with something from Brian Ernst's CD, Be Set Free. Here is The Refugee. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for our supporters for making this happen today and every day.
And Katie, same to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. More to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Voila!
Yeah.
That sounded good.
Oh man,
You
really,
sounded
really
great.
appreciate
You
that.
sounded
man.
really great, man. Yeah, yeah.